Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Could be good evening to you if you're in other parts of the world, or maybe just after lunch if you're on the West Coast, and Hawaii, of course, sometime in the morning. So, welcome to my shop. My name is Todd Rains, and coming to you from Allen, Texas. I am live streaming to both YouTube and Facebook. You can see up there. So if you're on YouTube, great. You can add some chat in there. If you're on Facebook, same thing. Put the comments in there, and they will show up for me, and I can share those with you folks. So really good to be here Friday again. I am. This is only. Let me get down here. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. I guess I really don't need to be on there at all, so maybe I'll just turn that off for a second. This is the fourth part in a four-part live stream series, and it is the last one in September. So we did a whole month of September, 3rd, 10th, 17th, and now 24th. And so, yeah, we're going to finalize this project and then take a little break, and I'll come back with something else end of October, November timeframe. So, and that would be very helpful for you folks to kind of help me with. What sort of live stream series would you like? Let me know. Put some comments in, send me an email, whatever you wish. I'd like to get some ideas. I know I've asked that before. Rick Bucker was asking about sanding techniques and stuff like that. We covered a little bit about it in some other live streams. To be honest, I'm not the best at finishing. So I know so many choices of finishes out there. I stick to one. I haven't tried them all. So I like oils and then polyacrylic if I'm doing a spray finish. So. But anyway, so let me know if you got any ideas, and we'll certainly look at those and plan the next series. So, Dave Leader, thank you for joining. Good to have you here again. I appreciate it. And Lee, as always, thank you. Happy popcorn time. Yeah, we'll probably, well, it's Friday night. Might make popcorn tonight. And Nick from San Antonio, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Chasing threads, excellent idea. I am relatively new to chasing threads, Dave. Let me address that now. And I did a live stream where Mike Mahoney joined me here in the live stream, and we went through and chased threads together. So that was if I go and show you this. I think that's not the, yeah, we'll do that. Hang on, sorry. Just finding the right button here. There it is. So this is the web page, if I'm looking at it right, I think. One's not moving. Oh, I'm not, this one. There it is. There's the web page. So if I go to Explore Woodturning, go into live stream, all things woodturning, here is the current live stream. And then down below are the other episodes for this one. So part 1, 2, and 3 are there. And then there's just a boatload of live streams. So I'm just going to scroll, and see where we end up. We're at the very bottom, I think, close to the bottom. There we go. Mike Mahoney teaches me thread chasing. So this is oh, shoot. Hi. Thank you. My wife popped in and says, I'm not showing any of it because I didn't switch to the input. Thank you very much, Shelley. So yeah, it's on the live streaming page. So I'll scroll to the top, but here is all the previous live streams are showing on my website under that Explore Woodturning, and then click on live streams. So that is under this tab, live stream, all things woodturning. And if I click on that, you'll see we get to the top, and it shows the current live stream and then all the other ones below. And that one I was showing is way down the very bottom. So go there and check it out, see what you think of that one. And to be honest, I have to practice more myself. It is a new skill. It is a new skill learned in the last year. So it will, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, sorry about the not seeing what I'm seeing, but hopefully I fix that. So yeah, check that out, and we will see what other topics we can think of. So thanks for the suggestion, David. Excellent. Glenn, good to have you here. Thank you for joining. Another South Texan. So what was this four-part project series? Well, it was this thing. There's my contact info if you ever want to reach me. Email, phone number, website. But this thing is what we're kind of making. This is a towel holder that's sitting in our master bath, holds little hand towels just on the top of the counter. It's not a big one. It's just for little hand towels, sort of those size, excuse me. And so, yeah, that's what we're making today. There's the base, and there's a dragonfly. Ignore the dragonfly. It was in our garden the other day. But that is what we're making today. So if I take a look at what's on the lathe, we've got a little piece of it here. Where's the other pieces? Right here. So I'll zoom this out a little bit. So there it is. And maybe I'll, let me do this one here. Yeah. We'll do this side camera, and we'll put that, and you'll see that the base, and I've got this stem, and I've got this hole up here, and I've got, just take that off so I don't drop it. I've got one of these side arms on here, and so that's what that's going to look like with that there. So hard to get it in the full frame there, but that's kind of what it looks like. So then we'll have another maple arm out here, and that's what I got on the lathe here. So I started this already. I don't want to take too much time doing that. I do want to talk about what this, how this is going to go together and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of thing. So there's the bottom of the base. It's kind of finished out. This is a utility piece. It is going to be used. So I'm sanding these to about 400 grit. It's not a museum piece by any means. So it's meant to be used. And so that's what we're making. We'll finish up this fourth part, and then this should take not very long, hopefully. And then we'll talk about, how I'm going to finish it, glue it up, and, put it to use. And so that kind of stuff will have to happen through maybe a post onto Facebook and Instagram and that kind of stuff to see what the final design looks like. And it should fare well. And so we'll look at that. So let's see. Yeah. So true, Lee. So true. Absolutely. Okay, Tony, we're docking your pay. You're late. I don't know what to say about that other than that. So thanks for joining, though. Appreciate it, my friend. I'm doing good. It's been nice weather up here. We actually got cold overnight. Well, 56 the other night, other morning. And you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. And Shelly's got her fans. She honestly is the brains behind the operation. So couldn't do this without her. Happy Friday. Absolutely. So yeah, Fridays at 2:30 is typically when I do these, and take a look at the past live streams where I showed you on the website where you can find those. So let's get to finishing this one out. And what have I got on? Put that there, and maybe this one. That's better. I like the other one actually. So a little bit of a wide angle. I'll maybe move that in just a little bit. and drop that. Sorry about the bouncy camera. I should have had this fully set up before, but actually didn't color correct that one either too much, but that looks all right. So I took the rough and gouge and rounded this to square, obviously. I took a couple of sets of calipers to look at the, I'm going to pull that one I've already done out. So I measured this tenon there and got from there and got it there. I'll sand this a little bit just to get it down to the final thickness. I then measured, used my other caliper because I left that one where it was, measured this distance here and got that width here, and then measured the top distance, the head of it, got that distance here, and then measured the body there, and that's a little bit tight, so I'll loosen that off a little bit, and got that distance here, here, and here. Pretty close, not exact, but pretty close. I wanted to get a little fat there so I can tweak it a little bit. So that's the general layout. So now I'm going to try this technology again. All we have to do is remove this stuff here. Actually, not that whole thing, but this stuff here and here. And you kind of see my arm in the way there. So let me get that one out of the way. And then this stuff here and here, here and here. Then we got to make this little angle here and this around the top. And then down here, we got a little half bead off there. And yeah, actually it's not off there, it's off this piece here. Right there, so we can backspace that. Right there. So that's what we're looking to do, and that should take fairly quick time here. So that worked relatively seamlessly. Okay, so hopefully that technology is working a bit better today. I've got a beading and parting tool. I've got a skinny parting tool and my rough and gouge here. And I'm going to use mostly peeling cuts to take all this stuff down. So let's get to that. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's get going. So I've got the lathe on and we're spinning about 2,800 RPM. I got my safety glasses on, so I'm good with that. And I'm going to peel this section down right here. That is actually the end of the bead. That should be flat as well. So that's going to come down to that diameter. To about there. I'm only taking about half width of this, kind of like a skinnier parting tool. That's simply because we are getting thin, and the wood is complaining. It's squealing a little bit. So taking lighter cuts helps us in that regard. So half the tool width. Get a sharp edge, just flip it over. That one was pretty loud. That's a bit better, not quite so loud, taking a little bit less. And then just see where I'm at here. Right about there, so we're good. This beading and parting tool is a 10 millimeter or 3/8. Thank you for the question. Didn't see that question there. She must have gotten that question from somewhere. I don't see that coming in at all. Interesting. Maybe it's her question. Maybe Shelly had a question. I have no idea. But thank you. Yeah, 10 millimeter. It's called a beading and parting tool. It is a Sorby tool, Robert Sorby tool. From your head. She had that question in her head. She is picking up on lots of things. She's been actually the one that's really kind of helped me kind of get the idea that I need to explain lots of things during this these demos and stuff. So it's one of those things you learn as you go. So now we got all this. We got to kind of skew off. I'm going to stop the lathe and move the tool rest. Move that back. Bring this up a bit closer. I left this piece on here to delineate where the end of the top is. So if we look overhead again, that is our feature set right there. So that's what we're looking at. So we gave ourselves just a little bit here on this end, this thickness here to worry about. We've got just the right amount here, so we can't really screw up here anymore. Oh, the other thing I did when it was big is I undercut this rim a bit, so I made that concave here. And so that's important so that it's going to sit nice and flat on the surface here. And as I put these in, it's a very nice fit. We've got a nice reveal on top and bottom. It's just the right size, about a 1/16 of an inch on the top and the bottom, and I think that looks relatively good. Gives a nice shadow line. It was either design or it was just plain luck, so I'm not quite sure. Let me turn that on. Get me in the picture so you guys can see. Okay, so I'm going to use my beading and parting tool again as a skew. It's small enough. I actually did a demo on Saturday morning, and so all my tools from last Friday are changed out, and this is I grabbed out of the tool box. So we'll just cutting the high spots, so glide over those spots. This is where it's kind of important or advantageous to line this up, your tool rest along this line at the bottom of the lathe. So I look down here and I'm parallel to the bedways, and that gives me a guide. A guide to slide around and slide on and try and get as parallel as I can. For getting into this corner, I'll tilt the handle or rotate it slightly, so I'm using the very point down here to kind of get right into that lip there. Then I'll go in and a slight angle, just clean that up in there. So let's see where we're at here. This part looks relatively even in here in the shallowest, or the skinniest, I guess I should say. So that's about there. And that is about a 16-inch fat on this piece. So we still got a ways to go, but at least we got wood to work with. Take it away, can't put it on. So I'm actually probably down to this diameter down here where it's kind of got a skinny thing on it. Let's see if I can zoom that any better. Move it this way a bit more. And then we'll go back at it. So I did sharpen this tool just prior to starting, and it's got a pretty good edge on it. Need to go the other way, so I'm going to go left-handed. And I want to touch my heel first and focus on getting this bottom edge to cut. So I move the handle closer towards me. Take the high spot, slide it back. This is where being ambidextrous helps. So it's a good skill to learn. I think we need to do a bit more there. I think we're still fat, but take a look. Getting much closer. Really, you won't be able to tell that much with these two being opposite of each other when it's all together. So and you got to remember the cut you take off this thickness of cut is doubled when you measure the diameter. So taking off a 64th here ends up being 1/32. You're going to take off the diameter. So something to be aware of. And just sliding back and forth on that bevel to find the right location to make the cutting edge contact. And I want to get my corner of this tool right into that edge. That's got it. I think I'm pretty close there. A little bit of sanding, and that will look good. So let's roll over this half bead here, and hopefully we don't screw that up. So we always have more wood, but you know, practice is what this is about. Having fun. So let's change tools. I'll zoom in there on this little guy, and wrong way. We'll take a look at that as close as I can get there. So I got this little 3/8 inch spindle gouge, and just kind of using it. We'll use that as a practice cut. Try and get the motion, get your feet where you want them. So I want to be able to move this tool and move it this way into my body. In fact, maybe that might help just to show the body movement. So I got my feet spread quite a ways apart, leaning into the cut. And my tool rest is a bit low. I'll raise that up a little bit. I want it so my tool will cut right on center. Want to look at that one again. It's rolled over right from the edge, so I got a bit more practice. That's a little too high now. All these little minute things that make me more comfortable. That's what it really is. Your tool rest height for you is going to be different from me. Take my time on that last little cut. It's pretty close, maybe a little flatter, just to make it match. That looks pretty good to me. That'll work. Now let's work on this end down here. Right about there. So now we're going to make that. So we're going to make a little mark. First of all, I'm going to stop this for a second. Just want to double check my diameter here. Looks pretty good. I check the chat. Okay, Michael is in the house. Thank you for joining, Michael. Good to have you here. And so we've got this diameter. Let's well, we're good there, where the bevel is, and I think we'll be good right where the high spot is. So let's mark that high spot, not touch it. So we're right there. High spot's right there. And then that's where we're going to go. So that high spot should be bang on. It is. Now this one, I'm gonna pull up my dust collector, but not really for dust collecting. I'm going to set my piece there so I can see it while I'm turning it. Okay, so we need to take this down, and let me just mark that while I'm at it. Where my piece actually ends, and it actually ends right in there. So let's waste some of this away so we can kind of get access to it, and then we will. And that line was right up in there. We'll leave some meat there, and then we're going to take this down to a bevel. A little bit steeper bevel. And leave a reveal there. That's about that big. So, and then we'll take that guy. Do that again up here. And trying to see how flat that top is. It's a little flatter. I got to move the handle over to my left a bit more. It's looking pretty good. Just got to maintain that diameter for the top bead. Oops, there we go. We just kind of decided it's going to be a little bit smaller. It's gotta be tucked in just a little bit more. That looks pretty good. And then let's take a look at how that looks, and then we'll sand a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let me turn this off and just widen this out a little bit. There we go. Got a couple of those now, so that'll work. So I'll do a little bit of sanding. Doesn't need a whole lot. This is where I'm going to need the sanding so it can fit in, and then obviously the top will part off and have to sand that. So what am I doing? I am getting sandpaper. I'm a little distracted sometimes looking at the chat. So what else is going on in your guys' world that you want to share? I think last time we said our anniversary is coming up. So I know, Michael, you were 46 years, I think, if I remember correctly. So, and Tony was 28. But as I said earlier, we had really nice weather the last couple of nights. It was actually chilly a little bit sleeping. I had the fan on. So anyway, let's turn the dust collector on. We're just going to sand. I'm starting with 240 and see how that does for me. And I got to change the pipes, make sure we're sucking out of here. We are. So that on, speed down. I want to get a flat space to sand in here. That's going to get my high spots more than my low spots, and I'm not going to dig in. So you can see I've got a low spot there, one in there. So we sand around those, and those should all turn to the same color of sanding dust. What grit of sandpaper? It's 240 grit. So I think I'm getting away with that to start with, especially here where I use the skew. I may have to go down to 180 when I get down to these guys and to that guy as well. So, and I'll progress through to 400. So 240. That's a 240 as well. 320. I'm just going to finish up this center column. It uses this flat surface. This is a spongy little thing. I forget where I got it. Might have been the guy over in Atlanta area. It's like, with Harry Potter, those that shall remain nameless or don't say their name. So it's fun. It's fine. We're competitors in some respect, but we always see each other at shows. I actually bought some stuff from him just recently. So that was 320, and we're going to go to 400. Try and get my sandpaper clean, and we'll do this in 400, and then I'll stop the lathe. And I'll go with the grain. All the way around. Just doing some quick inspection, make sure it all looks good, no big scratches. Do away with that. Let's go back down to, I've got 240, there's 180. So I'll try 240 on these guys and see how it works out. So it's just finger work on this bevel, on this slope in here, and just slightly round that over. I'm going to crease that and just I kind of nicked this with the tool a little bit, so I know I'm kind of messed it up a little bit, but take a little sandpaper to that edge. And then down here, curve the sandpaper, roll around this bead, or half bead. So, and I am turning between centers here. These are cup point centers. Just move some tools out of the way because we are going to just take this off the lathe quickly, and we shall see if this fits. It's much too big yet, so just about to go. So we'll do some sanding on that. But what is allowing me to kind of recenter these quite easily, these cup point centers. So registers nicely there. And this one, same thing. This little one on the tailstock, revolving live center, is a Cindy Drozda tool. Cindy's a good friend, and it's a great little tool. Just making sure I'm kind of moving around on purpose. It's not my Parkinson's. I don't have, for those that suffer, it's horrible, but shaky hands. I'm just trying to shake it around to kind of let it settle into that little notch it built up, and that should not, it doesn't spin true. See, I missed it. So, oops, shaking my camera. Sorry about that. Good thing I'm not cutting anymore. So it's not quite centering up quite right. It doesn't matter. I'm only sanding. So normally they center up quite easily. Find my, oops, sandpaper. Did I put it down? I think I put it down somewhere. I was doing 240. There it is right there. But this little live center has got a, what is that, 3/8, I think? Or it could be 7/16. But it is about the perfect size because this hole in this guy is 3/8. So allowing me to kind of match that to the size of this little point is has been a great help in this project. So now I'm just gonna go down to 180 with this. Just kind of sand this to fit a little bit. Let's try that. Oh, we're getting a nice snug fit there. Maybe a little too snug. Not enough room for glue in that fit. So a little bit more, and we will call it good. I'll just get it in the center there. And back to a little bit 180. Just fold this over. Am I gonna rub the live center a little bit with the sandpaper? Sure, you can see I'm kind of sanding it a little bit, but that's fine. These are replaceable points, so I can always get some more from Cindy if I ruin it. But so far, it's going fine. Just going to get under there. This is a glue joint, so having it roughed up a little bit is probably preferable than being completely smooth. So how did we do? That looks pretty good. What does it look like? I'm just curious what it looks like with the other one on. Still got this to take off. So we'll mount it back up, and then we'll take that off. If it's out a little bit down here, it doesn't bother me down here. So that's why I made sure I'd finished everything up down there that I needed to, wanted to. Get this back in there. Make sure that's tight. Just double check the tailstock. Get back up to speed. 2400 RPM. I'm not a production turner, so I won't take that off on the lathe. Some people can do that. Not me at this point. I'm looking at the grain, and if I tighten up here, the grain running this way. This is crossed this way. Still all running this way, but the pillars of grain are running in this plane, so if that makes sense. So I want to push this across that to break it so that I don't pull those fibers out. I'm going to push them sideways. And so now I'm left with that little nub there, and that should sand off by hand fairly easily. We get 120 to start on that. Okay, and I will do a much more extensive sanding here after this session and stuff. But what I do want to do is kind of get some mineral spirits out and just see how well this curly maple pops. So let's do that. We'll get some of that, and we'll set up and see how well this thing looks. And we will take a look at or talk about my thoughts on finishing this piece and the finish of choice, I guess, if you will. Move that back out of the way. Put that there. Get that cleaned off. I'm going to knock out this center, and just so you can see a little bit of what's going on. There we go. And so as I said, it's a utility piece. It's going to go in the bathroom, master bath, sit on our countertop, and hold handheld. So there's going to be moisture involved. There's going to be, that kind of everyday use sort of thing. So I think that's kind of what we want to talk about in terms of finish. And I think in this case, where's my mineral spirits? There we go. I'll get your thoughts. So what do you guys think for a finish, knowing that it's might have a damp hand towel hanging on it, and that kind of stuff. So take the safety glasses off. I use mineral spirits just to kind of get an idea of, what sort of finish is going to look like, and stuff like that. So fairly mild organic compound, if you will. I don't know what else. I get any on there? There we go. Tip the bottle. So, and some right on the end there. Finished and unfinished.
Hold it up higher, you can't see on the camera.
Gotcha. My director is telling me to hold it up higher. Can't see it on the camera. So, but yeah, I'm just wiping it on off camera a little bit. Just kind of see. So there. Be a nice little contrast in woods. This walnut's going to get nice and dark. Maple's got a nice curl to it. Let me do this. Over this way a little bit. So I think that'll look nice. And that's kind of it standing up there. So let's see, what did we, sorry for my hand in front there. 56 years, Lee. Well, excellent. Well done. Tony is saying, I think shellac would work. Yeah, shellac wood is a good natural product to use. So I think, yeah, I think my problem with shellac would be that it's a good and the bad thing about it is that it would be a finish that is going to not do well with moisture. If you have a shellac tabletop and you set a wet drink, cold drink on a warm day, you get the ring, and that ring will kind of stay in shellac. So I think from a moisture perspective, your mileage might vary, but I think that'd be my concern with shellac. So something to think about, though. Oh, this camera has to be super close to get this picture. It's like I'm maybe that far away. It's like 6-8 inches at the most. It's quite the close up on this camera. So that's it. Here's the end. Yeah, that's really close to the camera. A couple inches away. But you can kind of see there's some nice curl in that maple. It's coming through. Some nice tiger stripe. This one is a bit tighter, so I think I'll loosen this off a little bit. But we've got a fairly good, decent look there, and a fairly complementary look out here all around. Joaquin, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Really cool project. Yeah, let's she's not going to like this idea at all. But we will take one of the ugly old oily shop towels and hang it there. And it's holding up weight on one side, and this is actually a double-sized towel that would normally be on there. But yeah, that's working. So I think from a base weight perspective, and of course this tenon is a little loose in the base, so it's not glued in yet. So once that gets glued, that'll be nice and solid and firm, and that will work nicely. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I knew she was going to get one.
Facebook, Brent and Joaquin have suggestions for finishes.
Okay. Brent, good to have you here on the live stream channel, joining us from Facebook. I think I'd use Howard's Feed and Wax, beeswax, and orange oil. Yeah, that would work. An oil wax finish. So we could do like a Mahoney's oil and then buff it out with wax on top. I think that'd be a good one. Excuse me as I take a swallow of my drink there. So absolutely. I don't have Howard's Feed and Wax. I've got Mahoney's walnut oil. I've got some butcher block oil that's got some wax and stuff in it. So that may be a good one. And so it's a good suggestion. Thank you for joining, Brent, too, by the way. What about water locks? Yeah, water locks would work. It's going to take a while to dry because I need to put on multiple coats, which is fine. I used water locks on the sort of cantilevered tables I built for the living room, and God, I built those over 10 years ago, and the water locks is just starting to kind of show its wear. Or I guess in the last couple of years has shown its wear. So it's a good durable finish. I'm not sure if it's water properties. I know when we set a cold drink on a hot day, we always use coasters on the living room tables. So that may be something we think about. I could. Do I have it? Oh, yeah, it's ugly in there. I was going to turn this the other way and get a better background, but. So Cindy's in the channel, so what's her opinion on using water locks, knowing that this is a bathroom hand towel sort of application. I just put in a cardboard box back there to give a bit better contrast with what we're looking at. So I think, and I'd have to buy a new can of water locks too. The one I have is gone stale or solidified. And so that's, $25 for a can that I'm going to use maybe 10 cents of. So I don't want to do that. But that's a good one, Joaquin. I do like water locks. I've used it. Let's see. Tony says, I've been using walrus oil on my boards. Really happy with it. Okay. Excellent. Is that a new product? Tony, I don't know. I don't know walrus oil. Not sure. Cindy says, I love you. I'd use water locks. It hardens up nicely and is somewhat water resistant. Yeah. That's what I've experienced with our end tables, cantilever couch tables. I don't know what to call them. Our fancy things. And I've been happy with the finish. It does take a while to apply multiple coats though. So not like poly though. So I could do a poly. Stop loss bags for the water locks. Yeah. I just don't use it enough, I don't think, to justify right now. I use it a lot doing flat work. Did a lot of projects, the tables. I think the TV stand is waterlocked, and a few other things, odds and ends. But that stop loss bag is a good idea, or containerizing the container into smaller vessels and stuff like that. So good. So I think for me, I'm just going to wander over to my finish cabinet and see what I've got. So polyacrylic, maybe. I don't know what the water resistance of it is. I'll grab the can. I'll take a look at it and read about it. I've got lacquer thinner. I've got tung oil finish. Again, maybe a good idea. Tried and true. This is the original traditional polymerized linseed and beeswax. So this might be the stuff I use the other, I forget the name, I'll look soon. The oil wax mix might work. So yeah, tried and true. I've got some of this in here. And it's polymerized linseed oil and beeswax. And the Minwax polyacrylic, protective finish, water-based. This is a clear gloss. I've got a satin over there too. So it says polyacrylic also resists damage from abrasion, scuffing, chipping, water, alcohol, and other common household chemicals. So this might work as well. I like this kind of finish I use this on my piston box as a satin version of this because it doesn't smell up the garage because I spray in my workspace, and it finishes clear. It doesn't add an amber tone to anything, and it's easy to deal with. And it's convenient. You can get it in the pint as well and brush it, but I just buy the spray. It's just convenient. So yeah, that's this is getting a little crowded. There's some other stuff in my finished cupboard that I might look at as well. Let's see. Tony says what the walrus oil. I think it's fairly new, but it's really durable finish in my opinion. Okay, I'll take a look. Cindy said the smaller vessel approach didn't work well for me. Okay, I know Steve Sinner does that. He decants his finishes into small, what do you call those things, canning jars, and goes that way. Polyacrylic should be great, but won't pop the grain like oil. That's true. That's a good point about the polyacrylic. So that might be out because I do like how the maple is such a nice curly maple. Tried and true is pure linseed oil. It takes a long time to dry. Well, it says it's polymerized and it's got wax in it. But yeah, it may take a long time to dry. So this or the water locks. And water locks sealer finish. Oh, maybe it's not so bad. Original. Pull this back just a little bit. Maybe it has changed. Maybe. But it's kind of in the name, isn't it? You wouldn't think it would change. So I don't know. I just thought about that when I thought about what you said. So yeah, I think it's probably the same it's been since they started making it. But this is probably, I don't know if you hear that. It does sound liquidy. So it might be okay. Yeah, not gonna get that off unless I have. Oh, maybe. What we could do is I do have some scraps here. There's a nice piece of scrap.
The cans are out of focus. You can't read them.
Got a little extra block here. This is they're both sealer finishes. I thought I had one regular water locks. I think that's the can I had to throw out because it was not good. This is more of a brushing finish, I think, but I don't have a brush right now, so that's what it's going to do. Nicely pops the grain. Of course, this isn't sanded fully. Well, it's a good surface. That's going to dry. We got another piece here that I will try. The polyacrylic. I'm just going to spray off camera here a little bit. You can see it goes on a little milky color, right? It comes out sort of a milk white, but it'll dry clear. And this stuff dries pretty quick, the polyacrylic. But I think, Cindy hit it on the head where it's not going to really pop the grain as much as oil because it doesn't really soak in. It's more of a film finish. So I think those are my options. And Cindy, let me know, the sealer finish, that's all I've got. I think that multiple coats of that should work. It's just a thinned down version of the other stuff, I believe. What'd that say? You could put a coat of oil on it, wait 3 days, then coat with polyacrylic. Yeah, I could do that too. That might be good. Charlie, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. So we're finishing up with our little hand towel stand, and we'll see how that goes. This all feels dry already, so try and tip that on and off, and then not quite dry. Probably put too much coat, too much of one coat on at a time. So that's the project. That's the series. Part 1, the base. Part 2, the stem. Part 3, the arm. Part 4, this arm and finishing. So, and then, like I said, I need to glue it up. If I do finish it before gluing, I will need to make sure I protect the joints. I don't want to put finish on, and this lid is just giving me grief. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, I'll put this on. There we go. Nope. Cross threading is happening, and my level of frustration is growing. So let's not do that now. Let's leave that for later. So let me go back to that. That is kind of what we're looking at. That's the original in our bathroom. And this is what we got today. It's all pretty close. I think dimensionally wise, it's pretty darn accurate. If I look at the ruler, we have almost 12 inches to the top. In fact, I would say it's 12 and a quarter, maybe 12 and an eighth. But this height is right at 11 and a half inches, which is exactly where the one in the picture is, even though I don't have a picture there. So I think from a look perspective, it's pretty close. This I didn't like. I did this. This was I don't know, design. I like the design, but I don't like the look that it's so thin right there. But I was wanting to think I'd want to copy this bottom part. I like this bottom part. It matches fairly well. I like the column. But this I probably would have done differently. But inevitably, it's going to have to be different because my top, you can see the top there, it's all metal. That one, by the way, it's all metal, brass, and who knows what else, stamp steel. This had to be square because I cut it square and drilled the holes before turning. So this whole top had to be different anyway. So, I think it looks cool. But I probably wasn't as happy with this transition when I was turning it than I was the other stuff. But yeah, there you go. Make one. I want to see them. So I think it's a great little project to play with. You got scraps of a little bit of wood around. Just to let you know. Let's see. Let me just get that ruler out again. So the base is probably 5-inch will do you. This is actually about 4.5 in diameter, the base. The height of the base is probably maybe 3/4. You could do 3/4, maybe 7/8. I started with this as 7/8. So 4/4, maple. That should be on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why that's on. The walnut piece was 12 inches tall total. Goes in there a little bit and goes out here a little bit. So, and that is 1.5. So 1.5 square by 12. And then these guys were 6 inches in total length. In fact, here's a spare. 6 inches, maybe just over 6.25. And this is the same maple. It's 1.25 thickness, so 1.1/8. So that's probably the thickness of the base as well. So I had some 10/4 wood would probably do this project, but you can do this obviously out of quite a bit skinnier stuff. The thickest I've got here, widest I got here is about 7/8. So a pen blank, 6-inch pen blank would do these guys. Ooh, you could do a nice plastic one. Somebody was casting, get some pen blanks and do that out of pen blanks. That way, finish is not a concern because it's plastic. Whether you could do this out of resin or plastic or acrylics or epoxies, whatever, I'm not sure. But that's a neat idea. Pen blank is probably a perfect size for that. Here's the water lock's just about dried. You can see that wet spot there. It's just drying up. But that does pop the grain a little bit nicer. Here's the unfinished side. Does add that amber tone to it, but even getting everything wet does. This is polyacrylic on this side, gloss, nothing on this side. So, and that is just about dry there. So dries pretty quick. Pops the grain okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was, but I think I like the idea of maybe doing a light coat of oil to pop stuff and then top coating with polyacrylic for protection. And I've gone over. I didn't think I'd go over today, but I have. So let me go here. Thank you for joining me for this series of all things wood turning. All Things Woodturning is my live stream to Facebook and YouTube Friday afternoons at 2:30. I'm taking a break for the month of October. I've got other stuff going on Fridays for that month, and then we'll be back with something new. Watch the Facebook, watch the YouTube, watch my my product page. Oh, before I do that, I got one other thing to announce if people haven't heard or don't know. Where is that? That is there on the website. This is, I got to put a banner up on the website, but I want to go here. Elio drives are back in stock. So the 2-inch and the 2.5-inch are back in stock. So exciting news. Those just notice went out yesterday. That I've got those back in stock. It's been quite a while for the 2 inches to be out of stock. The 2.5's been a few months. So they're there now. 2-inch, 2.5, 2.5, 3.5-inch, all in stock. So take a look at those. It'll be it's good to finally get those back in stock. If you hadn't noticed, the T in the T-shirt or the T in the name is an Elio drive. So it's exciting news. Look for some other products to be added soon. I'll certainly make an announcement of that. Let's see. Glenn says, Cindy says the original water locks is what he is. And okay, yeah. Glenn, great demo, great idea. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for the comments. Glenn Dornack, where do I send you a picture to? So you send it here. Right here. So wherever I'm pointing. Todd at woodturningtoolstore.com or just go to the website woodturningtoolstore.com. You can send I don't think you can actually attach messages to the contact form. So email there would be best. You could post it to Facebook and tag me. You tag woodturningtoolstore.com, hashtag woodturningtoolstore.com. That would work. Yeah, so those kind of things you could do. Yeah, I think that's the way to get it to me anyway. Facebook or email. And Michael says, thank you. Thank you very much. Facebook user says, thank you. That is why it says Facebook user, not their name, is because they're joining from the Woodturners Retreat Facebook page, which anonymizes folks. It's part of the group policies there. So things you learn when you do this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to say is thanks again for joining me. Thanks again for having me in your shops. What was that, Black? I'm missing. Oh, that's my camera. I thought maybe there was something stuck in my, and this is annoying too. So let me move that back out of the way. Thanks for joining me for the last 4 weeks. Thanks for joining me for the last year and couple of months since I've been live streaming. And so I'm available for demos. If you want your club to have a demo, look me up. Speaking of demos, Cindy has a sharing session tomorrow. So check out her webpage, sign up for her newsletter, and you will get on her mailing list. She also has a demo October 2nd on how to utilize your burl, how best to utilize your burl. So that's a good one to check out. Check Cindy's site, cindydroza.com for that. My friend Lyle Jameson is having a demo October 9th. Check his website, lylejameson.com. And I need to schedule some demos, some PRDs myself. So I'm going to do that maybe in the later part of October and get back into the swing of things and doing that stuff. So had a lot of work to do this summer, but it's been fun. This live stream gets me out in the shop. And I'm dragging this out because I'm going to miss you guys. Okay. So that's it for me. Todd Rains at Woodturning Tool Store, 230 Todd. Signing off for September's live series. Thanks again, everybody. Take care and have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you soon.